Today, when I was playing Hollow Knight Silksong, I saw attendance dip. We started with over 200 viewers on YouTube and something like 80, 90 viewers on Kick. As I played the game, the viewership went all the way down to like 130 viewers on YouTube and like 40 to 50 on Kick. Urban style individual.
What's up with y'all? Hopefully this video finds you in good spirits, and if not, well, at least you not DSP. And Phil is the prime example of someone who will pay for what they want and in turn beg for what they need. Because it appears now that Phil is begging for viewership. Yes, you heard me correctly. He has added that to the list, as well as a few other things to that list. So let's get into it.
Here and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Monday, the 15th of September, 2025. A good day of variety, a good day of fun, and a day of hilarity for the second half, and we'll talk about that in a second. There was actually two reasons why the conclusion of Gears of War tonight was hilarious. Okay, so first off, today I did not do a podcast. Instead, we just had a 30-minute hangout session, and then we jumped right into Hollow Knight Silksong. We had about 3.5 hours of progress in Silksong today, including taking out the sister something boss. She's the one with claws that attacks from the ceiling.
So he's still going to go about this Phantom podcast. It is a podcast. It isn't a podcast thing. And I know that he had a segment where he went on with the detractors about it actually being a podcast because that's what they called it. Well, Phil, we're calling it that as a mockery to you because that's what you call it, even though it's not a podcast. So that's why we're calling it a podcast. It's not because it actually is one. It's because you are claiming it's one and it's not.
And then we went to a bunch of brand new areas. We finally unlocked the double jump ability, thankfully, because man, or actually not double jump, the wall jump ability, which is super important for traversing in this game. And it basically opened up a whole bunch of new content. We actually finished up in the big boss fight against the Widow. And then there was a little more that we did, and we were basically trying to do like side content and extra content that had opened up as a result of all the abilities we had gotten. So overall, it actually was quite a good stream of progress. However, I'm just going to say this.
Now, we know what he about to get into, but it's always funny to me how he always frames things completely opposite of how they actually occurred. We all know when you see a DSP gaming stream, what you're going to get. I mentioned this before, the 3 Bs, begging, bitching, and boring. Now, you might not necessarily get them in that order, but those 3 things will be there. But I'm going to let him continue.
I've now noticed a distinct pattern, okay? And this is the pattern. And I would love to talk about this on a podcast, maybe tomorrow morning, because I think we should discuss it and try to figure out what's going on. Here's what I've noticed. In the modern day, most of the big AAA games that are coming out are not very good. They're just not. They're underwhelming. They're buggy. They're a mess. They're too grindy and boring with gameplay. They're not original enough anymore. They're big flops, a lot of them. I mean, take a look at a game like Assassin's Creed Shadows this year.
Now, to be fair, in the interest of fairness, he's not entirely wrong when he talks about a lot of AAA titles specifically being flops. You know, that is subjectively true. Now, there are a lot of AAA titles out there that are still good, but in as of late, when you think about a AAA title, you think about bloat, overproduction, things not working correctly, spending all the money on voice actors, but the gameplay mechanics are lacking, you know, those type of things. So he's not entirely wrong there. But again, I'm going to let him continue.
Right? Now compare that to some of the best games. The best games are coming out from smaller indie studios, from a place of not an insane amount of money and investment, but just talent. However, I'll say this. The games that I think in the modern day are the best games, for whatever reason, you guys as a viewing audience aren't gelling with. Okay? I'm going to give you some examples right now. 3 games off the top of my head are my favorite games of the year. Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Blueprints, Hollow Knight Silksong. Today, when I was playing Hollow Knight Silksong, I saw attendance dip. We started with over 200 viewers on YouTube and something like 80, 90 viewers on Kick. As I played the game, the viewership went all the way down to like 130 viewers on YouTube and like 40 to 50 on Kick. I'm not
So what really are you saying when you mention some of the biggest games that have released over the course of the year and going back into last year to a certain degree, yet you are consistently getting low attendance for these games that are objectively good? You, what really are you saying? You're saying that you are the problem. Now, we all know this, but Phil, unbeknownst to you, you are telling on yourself here, sir. But I'm gonna let him continue.
not kidding you. I didn't even have 200 viewers for Silk Song. Why? I was doing well. I was making progress. The bosses were challenging and kicking my butt, but I was overcoming and beating them. When I ask the audience what's going on, they say, oh, well, the game is boring. Let me get this straight. The games that have the best story, the best gameplay, the best graphics, and overall are the best games of the year are boring to you.
Yes, that's what you do to anything, Phil. You can take the best that the genre has to offer or this form of entertainment has to offer and make it boring. That's a unique gift that you have. Look at his face. He can't possibly believe that it's him. So his solution is to ask them why they are not entertained. And it better not consist of anything to do with him, even though we know that's what it is.
Do you think there's a problem there? And I even said to the audience, do you guys like not like video games anymore? Is that what?
So, so look at the extreme that he takes. He actually goes about saying you don't actually like games anymore. Phil, why else would your loyal fans, who you claim number in the thousands, be coming to a gaming channel other than to see games? There has to be something going on with the user or the person that's playing the game that's making what they thought would be an otherwise good experience a bad one.
What it is? Because back in the day, these games that are the best right now would have been the ones that everyone wanted to come to and hang out for. But now it's like I get almost no views on the best games. But then if I play an overhyped game, everyone rushes to the stream. Oh, wait, he's playing Call of Duty? Everyone rushes to the stream.
Who is this everyone rushing to the stream? This is a lot like when you say everybody is yelling at you. Phil, there is no everybody, there is no everyone. What you're talking about is about 5 or 6 people who want to see you play a particular game, and that exists in a bunch of different genres. We see that primarily though when he plays fighting games with somebody like a Jax Raxter, who we know is going to come pay his tithes, come hell or high water when he sees his daddy playing a fighting game. But aside from that, there is no everyone, Phil. Stop.
I don't know, because here's the thing. I'm a gamer who tries to do variety. I'm trying to play the best and worst games. Like, I want to balance it. I can't just constantly be playing the games that bring hype. And I get it. There's certain games where people get excited to see me take on a hard challenge and get my ass beat or play multiplayer and rage, but that can't be every stream. I'm not going to purposefully skip the best games.
You are going to do what OIC tells you to do. You are going to go and be carried where the wells carry you. You act as if you have a choice in the matter. You don't. Now, this is this is great for you and your own ego to sit up here and act as if there's some illusion of choice, but we know there isn't one. Whatever OIC / Ryan or Iron Chef Sakai, when they pop in and out of your life, decide they want to see you play, that's what you're going to be playing.
I'm not. The good news about this is, okay, the support is actually really good. I am getting support even for Silk Song, a stream where I'm getting almost no attendance on the stream. I'm getting support. We hit the goal today. So I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed that I can't get more of an audience for the games that I feel are the best out there. All right? And it's not just me. If you actually look at the gaming media in general, the gamers in general, they're saying the same things. That, Clear Obscure, best-in-class RPG. Blueprints, one of the most innovative puzzle games of all time. Silk Song, the best Metroidvania ever. So why won't anyone watch it?
People are watching it. In fact, let's roll that beautiful bean footage. Now, as you can see, people are actually watching the game. They're just not watching you play the game, which has been something that's been consistent on your channel for a very long time. Phil, everything you do has a very, very short shelf life because you are so boring. So you take the appeal from it immediately. It's almost akin to when you go out and buy a new car and they always tell you the second you drive it off the lot, it loses like a third of its value or whatever it is, depending on what type of car it is, right? And it's the same thing with Phil. It could be the best game, best in slot, whatever. But because he's playing it, it loses its allure. It's no longer interesting because he has a way of just siphoning all the fun and positive energy out of the air.
Why does no one show up to the streams? I don't know what to tell you. All I can do is keep playing the game and being entertained by it, trying to persevere through the challenge. That's what the game's all about.
Do you hear what he said? All he can do is keep playing and be entertained by it. Now, that's very, very key because Phil believes that if he's entertained, and by extension, you should also be entertained. This is why he always concocts these narratives about how much fun he was having, quote unquote, even though we see him being miserable the entire time. But that's some very good insight into how he views this overall experience. He's not interested in the viewer experiences whatsoever. He's doing this for him. All this is self-serving, self-indulging, because we also see this with DSP Tries It. It's what he wants to eat. It's going to happen when he wants it to happen. And even though he's calling it your reward, he's the only one that's benefiting from it.
And that's what I've been doing. So it's not that I think it's anything I'm doing wrong. I just think it's a weird situation where modern gamers just don't like the good games on streams. They want to see rage and they want to see certain kinds of hype and not the best games.
See, and I know I just paused it, but he is really saying a lot of dumb things here. This is why being introspective is so important, because when things don't go right, the first thing that you look at is yourself, which makes sense because that's the thing that you have the most control over. And many of us, especially if you lived a little bit, you can look back on certain situations, even in scenarios when you have been done wrong. And you can look at things, if you're being objective, and say to yourself, I could have done that a little bit differently. I should have been more reasonable here. But that's not Phil's approach at all, not even a little bit. He goes to the complete opposite end of the spectrum and just says people no longer like games. Think about how crazy and radical a statement like that is when gaming, as of now, is bigger than it's ever been, especially in terms of who gaming is reaching. And sure, not everybody's playing on a console and not everybody's playing on a PC, but look at mobile gaming. That's introduced an entire new demographic of people to games. Older people are now playing games. Young people are playing games younger than they've ever started playing games. You know, you got 4 and 5-year-olds running around with tablets in their hands all damn day. So what is he talking about? People are playing, engaging, watching games. They're just not watching you.
Anyway, I'm not disappointed. Watch the videos. The gameplay today was great. And the support was sound. I'm just sad that not more people watch it. You see what I'm saying? Like, it used to be the games that were the best of the year were some of my best playthroughs. Now it's like I can't get anyone to even watch these games. I don't get it. Okay? So, Silk Song went well. Now, the late stream was full of hilarity for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, unannounced, Kick launched the new Kicks campaign tonight.
Now, before he goes into this, we know Phil is excited about another way to make money. And I just want y'all to know that this is going to be a part of his lexicon moving forward. You are going to hear the term kicks over and over again. He is going to add it to his infomercial. You can bet it.
Kicks are the equivalent of bits on Twitch to a T. You buy them in bulk, you pay a little bit more, and Kick keeps the profit. But when you send these kicks to a content creator like me, I keep all of them. And each kick is the equivalent of 1 penny, just like bits are the equivalent of 1 penny over on Twitch, although they'll never say that. They say, oh, bits have no monetary value, which is a lie. Like, literally, Twitch lied about that from day one.
Okay. What's the point of you saying that now? That really doesn't mean anything, you saying it all these years later. It would have meant much more had you said that at the time, but you did not say that Twitch was being deceptive about the value of bits because you were benefiting from it. It's a lot like for some of y'all who seen that R. Kelly documentary when they were talking about his inordinate relationship with Aaliyah. And it was called Surviving R. Kelly, if I'm not mistaken. And they were interviewing a lot of people who were around during the time period where Aaliyah and R. Kelly allegedly were messing around with each other. And they all had these stories to tell about, oh, yeah, I seen them two together in the back of the bus, or I seen them in a car somewhere or in a hotel room. But they're saying all this stuff 20, 30 years later. It doesn't mean anything. Why didn't you say it at the time? You didn't say it at the time because the gravy train was still running and it wasn't beneficial for you to speak on it at that time. So we know that you're speaking on it now, not from a place of morality, but because it's no longer beneficial for you. And it's the same thing with Phil. If Phil really wants to morally grandstand, why didn't he do it at the time? Regardless of what he would have made for it, made off of it, if he had a problem with it, he should have said something then. So you saying something about it now only further solidifies the fact that you are morally bankrupt, dude.
Okay. So tonight we tried out this system. It worked pretty well, I would say. However, there's a loophole. The loophole is you can literally buy 100 bits for $1, and you can sit there gifting one bit. I take that back. You can buy 100 kicks. See, I even got confused because it's the same system as Twitch. So you can buy 100 kicks, and you can just say one kick, one kick, one kick, one kick, and it literally spams the chat. Me as the streamer, I have absolutely no way right now to shut off the chat messages for them. So we had two people who bought like 100 each and just sat there spamming the chat nonstop with these kicks, and the whole chat was overrun for like 30 minutes.
So what do we think is going to happen moving forward? Because what he just showcased is a weakness in his defenses. So where do you think the attack is going to come from, Phil? My goodness, bro, you got to learn how to shut your damn mouth. It's okay. You don't have to speak on everything. My goodness. But now, when the detractors come up in there, and undoubtedly they will, spamming that, I mean, you kind of ask for it. Because why else would you say something like this? And we know that it's going to help perpetuate your narrative of detractors or being deranged and all that. And I get it, whatever. You know, all the world is a stage. But it just speaks to the fact of his unawareness. It's like, dude, why would you tell somebody you're not wearing body armor on the way to a gunfight? That makes no sense.
And I have no way to fix that at all. I have no control over it. I can't even moderate it. Even if that person gets banned, they can continue to gift the one kick, and you can't stop it. So basically, it's kind of a broken system. It's nice that there's another way to support streamers on Kick rather than just gifting subs. But man, it's bogus that someone could just sit there tossing pennies. Essentially what it is. Imagine if someone had a roll of pennies and you're just standing there and they start doing this to you. They start throwing pennies bouncing off you. Like, what are you doing? Stop. And they just keep doing it. That's what it is.
Yes, Phil. And they're doing that to mock you. That's the point. Now, let's go on a little story time, okay? Real quick. So, there was a Roman general by the name of Marcus Crassus, okay? He was also the richest man in Rome during his time period. He later became a Roman general. And one of the things that brought him to prominence was him eventually stopping the slave revolts from a guy named Spartacus, which we know is renowned today. But his demise came when Crassus tried to invade what's known as the Parthian Empire, which is modern day Turkey today. Why is that important? Because when he tried to invade them, he was eventually captured at the Battle of Kari, okay? And when they captured Crassus, they used molten gold and poured it down his throat. And it was to mock his greed. And it's the same thing that they're doing with you, Phil, when they're tossing pennies at you. What they're saying is, all you care about is money, so here you go. Tap dance, do something, whatever, because they know that's all you care about. So even though I know he's framing this like it's something that's deranged or whatever, but when you really look at it for what it is, all it is just low-level mockery.
So overall, I do think tonight I made some income from these kicks. So someone had done like 1,000 kick. Someone did 500 kick. There was a few hundred kicks. So I probably made like 20, 30 bucks on kicks, which is nice. But I just hope that it's not intrusive to every single stream. I hope that they realize the mistake that they've made and they make it so that it doesn't pop up with one kick, support. It shouldn't be in the chat like that. Now, the way I'm going to do it is the way I used to do it with bits on Twitch. I'm only going to shout them out if I get 100 bits or more. So it's 100 kicks or more in a contribution. I'm not going to shout out anything lower than $1. I don't do that now. I'm not going to. It's got to be $1 or more. I'm never going to shout it out.
Anything is appreciated, right? Until it's not. What if that's all somebody has to give you? You need to look at things proportionally, like from a per capita perspective. It's not about what somebody gives you, it's about what somebody gives you relative to what they have. Because $5 for somebody else might be far more valuable to them than $100 to the next person, depending on what they have access to.
Okay. Also, right now, there's no way for me to integrate my pop-up system with these kicks because it's brand new. I'm sure eventually it'll work just like bits work on Twitch. I'm sure these kicks will work on Kick, and I'll be able to have animations and things for them to say thanks. Right now, I can't do that. So FYI, nothing yet, but I'm sure it'll be coming. And when it does come, I will be using pop-ups to say thank you for those.
Ain't it funny? He went on a crazy rant about YouTube and what was going on, and all he did was showcase how much he did not know. And the only things he really is versed on are the monetary systems inside these platforms. This kick system just came out and he just told you everything about it. I wouldn't not be surprised at all if he read up on it, probably watched a couple YouTube videos on it, because he wants to know how he can further exploit his viewership. And it's just pathetic. If you put this much thought and effort into actually trying to give them something that's noteworthy, you might actually grow an organic audience that actually wants to see you for you. But everything is monetary based, all of it. So you cannot be surprised when your turnover is so high. It's no different than when you work for a terrible boss and all they care about is the bottom line. At some point, you're like, damn, dude, like, we still human. Goddamn, you know?
Okay, cool. Now, the other piece of hilarity is that the ending of Gears of War Reloaded was insanely difficult. There were parts with insane instant deaths, the AI doing absolutely nothing and actually getting me killed. Like, there's parts at the end, they absolutely intend that you're with a partner who has a brain, so you get on dual turrets and protect each other. So one person can get your cover on your back while you're fighting off enemies to the side. Even the final boss, they're expecting that you have a partner. And you don't when you're playing single player. That partner is dumb as shit and gets downed constantly. I died and I died and I died and I died. I persevered and I beat the game right at 9:30 when I normally would have said time to say goodnight. And then the credits got stuck into an endless loop where it kept cycling the same exact music, that Cole rap, and they just kept going and going. We waited 15 minutes, the credits didn't end. So I said, screw it, and I alt F4'd out of the game. It was pretty funny because my reactions were funny, and it was like being stuck in hell. Endless torture. It won't leave you. It won't let you go.
It was not funny. It was corny. But we know the only jokes you like are the ones that you tell. It was beyond corny. And what he was actually doing was using that as an excuse to stall for more money, like he always does when he doesn't hit the goal right away, or when he wants to hit a second goal, or whatever, right? Whatever excuse he's using at the time to get more money from people. But no, it was not funny. It was corny as hell.
So, by the way, we did hit the support goal for Gears of War Reloaded. So the streak of support continues. We have now hit like 7 to 8 straight streams of hitting support goals. Thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate that.
I don't think I've ever seen another man speak with their hands this much, you know, and I don't, I know what people say about Phil and what his preferences are, you know, and I'm not going to touch that, but I will say this. He does exude feminine energy, especially when he's speaking. All the over exaggerated movements and expression that he's doing, especially talking about something as mundane as this. I mean, you would think he would be talking about the final 30 seconds of a football game or the Super Bowl or something. He's talking about completing a video game, dude. And he's all over the place. He's animated. His eyes are bugging out of his damn head. Like, what's going on, man?
Gears of War is now officially concluded. Okay. So tomorrow, there will be a level 1 podcast in the morning. Perhaps we'll talk about the future of these kick bits and we'll try to brainstorm different things around them. And I want to talk more about this subject matter of the best games are not getting views on my channel. I would love to know why. Okay.
So Dents, you know what the content is moving forward. It's going to be him berating you about not showing up to streams that you obviously don't like, even though he'll tell you if you don't like the game, then leave. He's also going to go on and on and on about this new kicks system. Now, in his mind, he has a great and loaded, jam-packed podcast lined up for you tomorrow. But all of it is self-serving. He's going to ask you for more viewership, and he's going to ask you for more money. And that's going to be the gist of it. And it's just sad. another box to check in the sad box that is DSP. This man is now officially begging for viewership. I mean, it just can't get any more pathetic than this. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Urban style content. I'm dead.